ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्त्यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। We'll chant from number 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. To unmute yourself. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu.
Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu.
Mamanusmara yudhya cha.
Mamanusmara yudhya cha.
Mayyarpitamano buddhihi.
Mayyarpitamano buddhihi.
Mame vaishyasya samshayam.
Mameva esya samshayah.
Mame vaishyasi.
Mame vaishyasi.
Asamshayam.
Asamshayam.
Abhyasa yoga yuktena.
Abhyasa yoga yuktena.
Chetasananyagamina.
Chetasananyagamina.
Paramam purusham divyam.
Paramam purusham divyam.
Yati parthanu chintayan.
Yati parthanu chintayan.
Kavim puranamanushasitaram.
Kavir puranam anushasitaran.
Anoraniyam samanusmaredyaha.
Manoraniyam samanusmaredhyah.
So when we split like that, anushasitaram, it ends with So next time we should not use the is over already. So anoraniya, I remains. When ma goes, a remains. Okay. So we should say Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram.
Kavir puranam anushasitaram.
Anoraniyam samanusmaredyaha.
Anoraniyam samanusmaredhyah.
And in any case, there is no mano because anu is atom, right? So therefore, we have, that is the word there. Sarvasya dhataram achintya rupam.
Sarvasya dhatam achintya rupam.
Sarvasya dhataram. Sarvasya dhataram.
Sarvasya dhataram.
Achintya rupam.
Achintya rupam.
Aditya varnam tamasah parastad.
Adityavarnam tamasa parastat.
प्रयाणकाले मनसा चलेन
प्रयाणकाले मनसा चलेन
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव
भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक्
भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक्
सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्
यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति
यदक्षरं वेद विदो वदन्ति
विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागाः
विशन्ति यद्यतयो वीतरागा
यदिच्छन्तः
यदिच्छन्तः
ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति
ब्रह्मचर्यं चरन्ति
तत्ते पदं
तत्ते पदं
संग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये
संग्रहेण प्रवक्ष्ये.
So next two shlokas go together. So we are going to chant the next two, which we are going to do today. Sarvadvarani samyamya
सर्वद्वाराणि संयम्य
मनोहृदि निरुध्य च
मनोहृदि निरुध्य च
मूर्ध्याधायात्मनः प्राणम्
मूर्ध्याध्यात्मनः प्राणम्
आस्थितो योगधारणाम्
आस्थितो योगधारणाम्.
It is nam or nam?
Nam.
Nam, okay. ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म
ओमित्येकाक्षरं ब्रह्म
व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन्
व्याहरन् मामनुस्मरन्
यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहम्
यः प्रयाति त्यजन् देहम्
स याति परमां गतिम्
स याति परमां गतिम्.
Okay. So last class we stopped at shloka number 11. Yadaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. An important shloka because it appears in the Kathopanishad, and there also he says Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi. There also he says Yamadharmaraja says that truth I will tell you very briefly because you know everything, really speaking. The whole world you have figured it out and all the things we've done. But this truth, it can be stated briefly, and I'm going to state it briefly. And he says there, Om Ityetat, like that he says. Om, Omkaraha. So here also, look at that 13th shloka, first one. Om Ityekaksharam Brahma. So like that, he's going to answer that question. Okay. So what is the context here again? Nishkama Upasakaha. Okay, the person understands that whatever likes and dislikes I have, and I can have whatever I want to have, but then fulfilling those likes and dislikes alone, I will be happy. This idea is wrong. This idea is wrong. And so that person becomes a Nishkama Upasakaha. And so surrenders to Ishvara, Ishvara Prapattihi. Okay, understands that Bhagavan, everything is Bhagavan. Okay, but not there. Shravanam not done yet. Everything is Bhagavan. Saying it alone is not enough. That is why Shravanam is recommended. Shravanam is advised. Shravanam is our Pramanam. Vedas is Pramanam, all right, but Shravanam is Pramanam that that person has not had that opportunity, and therefore Shravana Rahitaha Purushaha. Okay, and therefore the person is, if you ask me, that person is a jnani or a jnani, if you say, then the answer should be clear. It should be person is an ajnani. Jnani does not need to do any upasana. Okay, therefore upasana is needed. Next janma, what is the phalam? That also we said, phalam is brahmaloka prapti, krama muktihi, going to brahmaloka, then again shravanam there, and then jnanam and muktihi, etc. Okay, krama mukti, not mukti here, not jivan mukti, krama mukti. All this we saw. And so therefore asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, we chant it every day. And mrityorma amritam gamaya, like that we say. So asatoma sadgamaya, this gamaya is an interesting word. Gam dhatu, gam means to go, gam to go. I go somewhere, I go to the temple, aham mandiram gachami, etc. The gam becomes gach. Okay, and then but here gamaya, that yakara comes. So that is for Sanskrit student, that is nich pratyaya. Nich means makes causal, makes it causal. I don't go, but somebody makes me go. That making me go is called gamaya, causal. In Sanskrit, there's a very beautiful construct. Patami. Patami means I'm studying. But suppose I make somebody else study, okay? I'm sitting in front of 10 people and I'm making them study. Then aham patayami. I'm not patami, I'm patayami. I make them study. So that's how the construct is. So you can apply it to every verb. Every verb you can add the niche and then patayami. And so aham pashyami and then aham darshayami. Darshayami means I'm making them see. Okay, that's how it works. So chalami, I walk. I make the baby walk. Chalayami. Okay, see how beautiful it is. So sadgamaya, gamaya also same thing. Asatoma sadgamaya. Hey, from this asat, asat means from this mithya. This jagat is mithya. Take me, help me see sat. Sat vastu. Asatoma sadgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. All similar meanings. Tamas, ignorance is covering me all the time. And so I need the Jyotihi. I need the Sachidananda Jyotihi. I need knowledge. I need the brilliance of knowledge. Okay. Sa viryam karavavahi tejasvi nama dhitam astu. So, Jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. So from death, take me to immortality. Like that, literally they translate. Okay. So death take me to immortality means what? Body is mortal. Body can never be immortal. God also cannot make the body immortal. The greatest devotee is there. Prahalada also was the greatest devotee. Ask Prahalada, did you get an immortal body or not? Mm-mm. Prahalada is no more. Okay, so God cannot make the mortal body immortal. Atma is immortal. Even God cannot make the immortal Atma into mortal. Both are not possible. Therefore that is this Asatoma Satgamaya. And that God is of course the Shravana. One who has done Shravana knows that this is impossible unless God and me are identical. Okay, it's not possible at all. Somebody is not going to make me immortal. I must already be immortal. This is the only solution available. So that will come later for this Upasaka is not there yet. And so yam vapi and all we saw Tyajan Bhavam. And so that person is doing the upasana of Bhagavan. Okay. Now, so that's the topic overall that we've been doing. And Antakale also, Prayana Kale. Paramarthanandaji tells the story. He says, Shiva and Parvati. Parvati said, I have this Bhakta is there. You have to go help him out. And he's in his last days. Then Shiva says, he doesn't do any upasana. He doesn't think of us at all. Why do you want to? You're partial. You're not. You know, he's not. He doesn't want you or me. No, no. I think he's a nice man. Just because he doesn't think of us doesn't mean not good. So Shiva says, okay, let's have a deal. Let's have a deal. Parvati Parameshwara, right? So Vagartha Viva Samprukto, Vagartha Pratipattaye, Jagatah Pitaro Vande. So Shiva, Parvati Parameshwara. So Parvati and Parameshwara are the parents of this entire world from that shloka. Therefore, it's their duty. So Shiva says, if you say in Tamil, father means Appa, mother means Amma. This is somewhat important for this joke. Okay, we can't say daddy, mummy, and all will not work in this joke. And so Appa and Amma only will work. And so Shiva says, look, if he says Appa in the last, when he dies, Appa, if he says, I will save him. If he says Amma, you have to save, because it's ridiculous for me to come when he says Amma. Okay, they agree. So they come down to earth, and then this man is there, and, and then the man is about to pass away, and says, ah, he says, and then Shiva and Parvati are looking at each other like this, anxious, who is he going to call? Very anxious. They became very anxious, it seems. And so they're waiting. So waiting. And then he says, ayo, he says. So now, again they look at each other. Shiva says, they smile at each other and both of them go off. And so, because they didn't call them. So, people are there to help. But many people who can help are still jobless. And so, because of people, only if somebody asks for help, we can help. So, like that, Swami Paramarthananda says. And so, okay, that's the context. All this is context. Now, for these two shlokas, 12 and 13, one more context we have to help ourselves with. Okay, and that is this: whenever we worship, whenever we do dhyanam, puja, prarthana, nididhyasanam, whatever we do, we need to do dhyanam of something, puja of somebody, worship of somebody, surrender to somebody. This somebody is always has to be there. Okay, so two types of somebodies. This somebody is called alambanam, support. Literal meaning, support. Using that support only, I can do all my activities, all my religious and spiritual activities. Okay, it's called alambanam, especially in dhyanam. That word alambanam is important. It's dhyanam. When I say Om Krishna Yanamaha, Om Krishna Yanamaha, Om Krishna Yanamaha, Krishna is my alambanam. Alambanam. Okay, so it's called alambanam. Now, two types of alambanams are there. One is called pratima. How many of you have heard of the word pratima? The popular word, many of us have heard it, pratima. Now, in Tamil Bhasha, we don't say pratima and all. That word does not exist. At least I have not heard. But in Hindi and all, it is there. So, pratima. Pratima means this alambanam, a form, a murti that has a form. Like Rama, Sri Krishna, Sri Lakshmi, okay, Srimati Lakshmi, Lakshmi. So the form is there. You can quickly visualize the form. So a murti that has a form is called a pratima. Okay, it's called pratima. It's called pratima, and if you do your dhyanam based on that pratima, it's called pratima alambana dhyana. Okay, and so it's very common. So dhyana shlokas, you look at it, Vishnu Sahasranamam dhyana shloka. Shantakaram, Bhujaga Shayanam. So Bhujaga, you have to visualize. So already Vishnu comes to your mind. Padmanabham Suresham. Bhujaga Shayanam, he is lying on a bed of this huge serpent. What kind of God he is? He's lying on a serpent, I don't understand. But then that is beautiful because this Srishti, having created the Srishti, what is the Shakti? How do you imagine the Shakti of Vishnu? How to imagine? The snake is the power. The power is represented by all these crocodiles and snakes and all that. And so one just silent suddenly comes up like that. And so that snake is a symbol of Shakti. And here this snake is just underneath Vishnu, snake is quiet. And if a small snake can scare you so much, imagine what a big snake can do. So Bhujaka Shayanam, all Shakti is there. So Shakti is in my hands. So that Bhujaka Shayanam, Padmanabham. So Padmanabham, a lotus coming out of his navel, and then Brahma is sitting on the navel. Lakshmi is right there and just watching over all of us. So like that, there is this shloka Vishwadharam Gagana Satrisham Meghavarnam. Okay, you want more details? Okay, Meghavarnam. If you, what kind of color is Vishnu? Okay, Meghavarnam, a dark Meghavarnam, like the complexion of the clouds. That is his complexion. And Lakshmi Kantam, Kamala Nayanam, the eyes also, if you want to visualize, like the lotus leaves, lotus petals. That's how it is, and etc. One day Vishnu Bhavabhaya. So the pure Pakka Dhyanam it is, and Pratima Alambam. Correct? So you have to that Vishnu. Then only Vishnu, Vishnu, Vashatkaro, etc. comes. Okay, then once you visualize that, then all the names I can give to Vishnu. And so the Dhyana Shloka here keeps on going. Sa Shankha Chakram, Sakarita Kundalam, like that keeps on going. So it just Sa Shankha Chakram. So Shankha Chakra, both are also there in his hands, etc. So Dhyana, these are all Dhyana. So this kind of object of meditation is called Pratima. Now, second type of alambanam is called Pratika. Pratika. Pratika is also an alambanam that we use for dhyanam, especially for dhyanam. And that is a murti, a symbol which has no form. Symbol which has no form. Means what? Not a form like, which also has a form. There is no such thing as formless, like a Shiva Linga. Linga. Linga has a form, no doubt, it's a linga. But then this hands, legs, eyes, and all these not there. Shankha Chakram, these are all not there. Not even ashes, nothing. Shiva Linga is just a oblong piece. And so no parts, no distinguishable parts. Okay. That's called a pratika. Every homa, every puja, water is there. We invoke Devata in waters. Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati. Then that water becomes a pratika, formless water. Apaha is formless. And Agni is also formless. No human shape is there. And so Agni. Sometimes they say, WhatsApp message, look at this fire, and then you can see some Krishna or somebody is there. It is in the form of Krishna. I don't know how many of you have seen it. You see all that, and then you look, zoom, zoom, zoom. Oh, zoom. Oh, okay. And then so they say all these things. So there the pratika is converted into pratima, and so that's called pratik. And so it's in our puja is very common. Asmin Haridra Bimbe, if you don't have, see, one advantage is we don't need big murtis and all to do puja. Oh, they have a nice big murti, they have a nice big Ganesha, they bought it there, and it's this bronze or it's this silver and all that. Don't have to worry about all that. You have a murti, you do murti puja. If you don't have a murti, create your own murti. And then haldi lekar uska ek murti banao. Asmin haridra bimbe. That's it over. Haridra bimba. That little turmeric piece becomes your pratika. For puja pratika. So all the yagas are going on. Where is the symbol? Homas are going on. Tell me which devata is there. You can't figure out. You can't figure out what puja they are doing, what homa they are doing. You can't figure out. They have to tell you. So we are doing Chandi Homam. They have to say that. You hear the mantras. Only the mantras will tell you. No symbol. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. So pratika. Okay. Pratika. Alamba. So here he's going to talk about Omkara. Omkara also is a pratika, not a pratima, pratika, because it's a sound symbol, Om iti. And then that becomes the object of my meditation or this person's meditation, Nishkama Bhakta's meditation. And water is critical. Going back to water exam, or water, purifying water, water becomes the sacred water. Kumbhabhishekam is there. Temples, they do Kumbhabhishekam. Water is such an important thing. They have all these kumbhas, pots, and then they fill it up with water. They sanctify it. Varuna Devata is very much there, and any other Devatas are all invoked in that. And then they go on top of the temple, and then they take that water, that God, that Ishvara, that Bhagavan, that God goes on top, and then Abhisheka, etc. happens. So their water, formless water, becomes the carrier, becomes Devata, Varuna Devata, and other Devatas. So very amazing it is. So therefore, this Shloka 12 and 13 refer to this Omkara Pratika Upasana. Omkara Upasana. The Pratika called Omkara and Upasanam of Omkara is being talked about. 12 and 3 are like a continuation. Both are a continuation there. Okay. So what is Shloka number 12? Sarvadvarani samyamya manohridi nirudhyacha murdhnyadhaya atmanah pranam asthito yoga dharana. Okay. Omkara. We saw last time, we saw it, but I want to repeat it. Krishna is using or invoking Omkara because Omkara is a popular, Omkara Upasanam is popular. Upasanam is popular in the Shastra. I don't see anybody do Omkara Upasanam. So how can it be called popular? Suppose I say Tata products are popular. Tata vehicle also is popular. Tata salt is also popular. Tata oil is also popular. Suppose I say, because a lot of people use Tata's products. But Omkara Upasanam is popular means what? Is every neighbor, everybody is doing Omkara Upasana or what? No, they're not doing. But popular in the Shastra. And because Kathopanishad talks about it. Etadalambalam shreshtam. Etadalambalam shreshtam. Etadalambaram param. Etadalambanam nyatva. Brahmaloke mahiyate. Like that it comes in Kathopanishad. And Omkara was introduced by Yamadharmaraja. Sangrahena Bravimi Om Ityetat, like that is introduced Omkara. So Omkara becomes is a part of Kathopanishad. Then Mandukya Upanishad, very short Upanishad, has less than 20 mantras, and it starts with Omkara. Okay, it starts with Omkara. So Om Ityetad Aksharam Idam Bhutam Bhavat Bhavishyatiti Sarvam Omkaraha Eva. Like that, the Upanishad starts with Omkara. And so the Upanishad is, that's why it's a bit advanced also. And so we study that Mandukya a bit later, after all the other Upanishads are studied. And then Mundaka also. Last time I quoted. So if you want to know the numbers, for you to look at this, wrote down these numbers also. So Mandukya Upanishad number 1, mantra number 1. Okay. And then this Kathopanishad Shloka is mantra number 1.2.17. Okay, that is Kathopanishad. Mundaka Upanishad 1.2.4. Okay, so Pranavo Dhanuhu, but the bow and arrow, right? Pranavo Dhanuhu. Omkara is my bow, and then Atma, Sharaha, Sharohyatma, I think it says Sharohyatma, and then Brahmatal Lakshamuchate. And then Pranava. The word Pranava refers to Omkara, right? Pranava and Omkara, synonymous. Synonymous. Okay. And then Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad also, I don't, I think it is the first Valli itself. Shiksha Valli itself, it comes. Omiti Brahma, Omiti Dagam Sarvam, Omityetadanukriti Hasmava, Apyo Shravayetya Shravayanti, Omiti Samani Gayanti, Omiti Samani Gayanti. Samaveda also sings of Om, like that the Yajurveda says. Yajurveda is referring to Samaveda. Look at that. Omiti Samani Gayanti, Ogum Shomiti Shastrani Sagum Santi, Om Ityadhvaryuh Pratigaram Pratigranati, etc. Keeps going. And so that's called that section. The name of that section in that Upanishad is called Omkara Upasanam. Pranavopasanam. That is the name of the small section in that Upanishad. Sikshavadi. Okay. So this is the background for what we are looking at now. So during the last days, should one only practice Omkara Upasana? No. Any pratima, any pratika can be taken. Okay. So no problem there. And so if Ishta Devata is there, then Ishta Devata Upasana. Okay. So that Swami Paramarthananda ji clarifies to us. Okay. Now with this background, let's look at this shloka. Sarva Dwarani Samyam. Sarva Dwarani Samyam. So now it's fairly obvious. Dwara. So Navadvara Pure Dehi and all is there. We've studied Dwara there. But here Indriyani. Sarvadvarani Samyamya. So having mastered, having shut also, because last days there is, see, the thing about this Indriyas is the minute you keep it open, things will start get crashing. Get crashing means without my permission, everything comes inside and it will just fill up my mind. And so, therefore, Samyamya, having Swamiji says having shut all the Indriyas, and then 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 the practice manohridi nirudhyacha. Manohridi nirudhyacha. Manaha nirudhya. Manaha nirudhya. Having restrained, having stopped the activities of the mind. Manaha nirudhya. Stop the activities means outside bahya karyani. And then mano nirudhyacha. Kriti, where do I nirudhya means stopping the activities and bringing it to the heart. Same thing we talked about last time. So mano hridi means in the heart, focusing, getting the mind, calming it down, and then doing the japa and bringing the japa to the heart. As though, because again we need a place, and heart is a physical place. Mind, see, the thing about mind is there's no, you can't point to your mind. You can say this is the mind, but heart is very much even more visualizable, correct? And so heart, and not only that, so who did it? When they say, they don't say I did it, they say I did it. The I seems to be there in the heart, not I is, even ahankara is here only, really speaking, but I did it. That's my son, that's my daughter, that's my family, these are all my family members. Okay, so my comes here. This is where it seems that ahankara is situated. So therefore, manohridi, Shastram always says hridi in these kinds of contexts. And so hridi nirudhyacha. Okay, and yeah, so we saw in the 10th shloka also, right? What did we see in 10th shloka? Yeah, prayana kale manasa chalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva. Yoga balam, we saw that already. Bhror madhye pranam aveshya samyak. Okay, so that bhror madhye, then from the heart, where does it go? Bhror madhye. Bhror madhye, in between the brows, behind, inside the head. And then why inside the head? Because Sushumna Nadi is there. Sushumna Nadi. And then, so from the heart to between the brows, as it were, and then Sushumna Nadi, focus. And then the energy just flows up. And then no stopping. Nobody can stop this person after that. Because the person is concentrating. Yoga Dharanam. Okay. Yoga Dharanam also. Yoga Dharanam. Okay. So that is what is said here, no? Murdhni Adhaya Atmanaha Pranam. Atma. See, Adhaya. Adhaya means having placed that 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 alambanam in murdhni. Murdhni means murdha is cerebrum, really speaking, cerebellum. This cerebral area is called murdha. Murdha. That is why these letters, aksharas, ka kha ga gha nga, cha cha ja jha na, ta ta da tha na, they are all these are all vargas, groups of things. Ka kha ga gha nga are called gutturals, kantyaha. And then cha cha ja jha na, they are called palatals. Okay, palatal, because it touches the palate. I don't know how to pronounce that. Palate. Okay, and then ta ta da da na. If you look at how you pronounce it, ta, exactly. So the tongue is making ta ta ta. The tongue is just twisting up, touching the roof, and then making a vibration. Starts from the top, so it's pointing upwards. Therefore, those letters are called murdha. Murdha, cerebrals, they translate that word as cerebrals. So you may wonder, what is the cerebral? Is coming from the brain or what? Well, everything is being triggered by the brain only. But cerebral, because was the position of the tongue. The tongue is just pointing to the tip of or the roof of the mouth and pointing upwards. They're called murdha. So murdhni adhaya atmanaha. That is a way to split this. Murdhni, saptami, murdhni. In the cerebral area, okay, in that cerebral area, having brought that concentration, that focus, that energy, that prana, what did you bring? Atmanaha pranam. Atmanaha pranam. And the Atmanaha, there here Atma is not Sachidananda Atma. Atmanaha pranam. The pranam of the body, the entire energy is just pranam. One word they have used, bringing the entire energy to that area. Murdhni Adhaya. Atmanaha pranam. Okay, that is one segment there. And then so Shushumna Nadyam Adhaya. Correct? Because that is the nadi there. That is the nadi. Okay. And then Asthito Yoga Dharanam. And Yoga Dharana. So Yama Niyama Asana Pranayama Pratyahara Dharana Dhyana Samadhi. So Dharana there also used Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga. Okay, so that dharana there means concentration. So yeah, adhaya means, okay, question here from Mahesh. Adhaya means having placed, having brought, you can say, having placed and certainly placed, having situated. Okay, and so this I was talking about dharanam. So concentration, focus. So having got that focus, yoga dharanam, by this yoga balam, yoga balena chaiva, having brought that concentration. Okay. And then the shloka will continue. Omkara, etc. Omiti, etc. will continue in the next one. Okay. And so here, when I'm alive itself, it is not difficult to do this. And you're telling me prayana kale, you do this. Okay. Actually speaking, prayana kale, it becomes easier to do because the concentration improves also. I have found it out. I've been watching people, seniors, very old people who are doing it. They are actually able to meditate better because those who, I mean, I'm saying those who have consciously they've done shravanam, who know what it is all about, for them meditation becomes easy. And even without shravanam, they have consciously said, I'm going to withdraw from all these activities. And so mind becomes calmer. I don't have to, I'm not worrying about my great grandchildren and this and that. Okay. So it's all calm. They're able to do it properly. And so this is not, it appears difficult, etc. But I don't think so. I don't think so. And so, therefore, this beautiful shloka is there. Shankaracharya's composition. Shiva Shankara Stotra. How many of you know Shiva Shankara Stotra? Atibhishana Katubhashana Yama Kinkara Patali. Yeah, Lakshmi ji knows it. So, Krita Tadana, Paripidana, Maranagama Samaye. Look at that. Atibhishana Katubhashana Yamakinkara Patali Maranagama Samaya. At the time of death, these Yamas Kinkaras are there. The Yamas, all the people who are helping Yama out, Yama's team, the team members. And then they're all, what they're doing, Atibhishana. At a time when I am so fearful, they are creating so much fear in me. Katubhashana. So this bhashana, their language is just too vitriolic, and I can't handle that. Katu means pungent. Katu means spicy. In food, katu means spicy. So their language is too much. And what language they are using? What are they saying? Are they using bad words and all that? No. They're not using bad words. They're saying, so many people have come and gone. So many upanyasas. Apadiya. Right? So they are using harsh language. Not harsh language. All they're saying is, we've been reminding you and to study the Shastram, and you've been missing all these opportunities. This Swamiji is coming, that Swamiji is coming. You never had time. You in fact laughed at us and all your friends who were telling all these things. So that is the harsh word. Okay. And because Shankaracharya is writing this. Okay. And so we have to think about what he may have meant. And Krita Tadana, Paripidana, they are just creating, it's as though they are whipping me. Okay, Tadana means beating. They are whipping me. Maranagama Samaya. Then what? Then Umayasaha Mama Chetasi Yamashasana Nivasan. So, Nivasan. So, Mama Chetasi. Now he says, my mind is here. So, you come to my mind. And don't come alone. Okay. Umayasaha, Parvatyasaha. Both of you, I want you to come. And then Mama Chetasi Nivasan. Come here. Then who are you? Yamashasana. You are the guy who is capable of dealing with this Yama. Therefore, Yamashasana Nivasan Shiva Shankara, Harame, Haraduritam. Like that it ends. So all the 8 Ashtaka, this is an Ashtaka. All the 8 of these Panjabis end with this one line. Shiva Shankara, Harame, Haraduritam. Like that it goes. So, therefore, that's that Swami Paramathanandaji said that. So I wanted to mention it. And so that Yama, dealing with Yama is the problem. So Trikalaagni Kalaya, Kalagni Rudraya. So that Shiva, who is able to time is the killer, they say. Time is the leveler and all. They use these words. And nothing stops except time. Or what? Time doesn't stop. No, I should say it differently. You can stop anything except time. Okay, I can stop anything except time. Okay, so therefore, mano, hridi, niruddhyacha, etc. Murdhni, adhaya, atmanaha, pranam, asthito yoga dharanam. Okay, that much we have covered. Okay, now omit ekaksharam brahma. Next shloka we are moving. Okay, we'll translate it later. Omiti ekaksharam brahma vyaharan mam anusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gati. Okay. So vyaharan, uttering. What uttering? What? Om. Uttering Om. Om iti. Om iti. And what is that Om? It is ekaksharam. It is monosyllable. It's one syllable. Om is just one syllable. So Om iti ekaksharam And what is that Om? It is nothing other than Brahma. It is a name for Brahma. And so Om means you should think of Brahma. You should, the whole Brahmatvam should come back, come to me, the entire universe. And this loneliness cannot be there when I say Om. Okay, Om iti ekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan. And and see, of course, Om iti ekaksharam Brahma or Ishta Devata also. So Ishta Devata also can be chanted. Krishna also name can be used. Devi's name also can be used. Sri Mata, Sri Maharajni. Okay. So Sri Matre Namaha, Sri Matre Namaha, Sri Matre Namaha. Yes. Yes, Sri Matre Namaha. Vishvam Vishnurvashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu Vishwasmai Namaha. Om Vishwasmai Namaha. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. If that idea comes, Om Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhave Namaha. Om Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhave Namaha. Om Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhave Namaha. So the number of names we have to chant is anything. We can choose anything. So that we can, that's why we practice now itself. And so we get into one or two names and then that name comes to our mind all the time. And then Gayatri. So those who are initiated into Gayatri will chant Gayatri. Gayatri is a bit long. And those who are initiated into any Upasana, they will chant the mantra that is given to them. So like this, all these are being indicated here when he says Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. And so when I was a child, my grandmother used to say, whenever you yawn, you should say Krishna, Krishna, like that. Krishna, 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 Krishna. So we used to all do that. Even now, these days, if we yawn, automatically the hand goes and say Krishna. Because all these asuras are entering the mouth, it seems, when you yawn like that. So they say, kick him out, and so by saying Krishna. And so we used to do all this. And so this kind of practices are all very uncanny, very, very amazing it is. So we should ask whether Ashuras are entering the body. And these questions are irrelevant. Say some names and then get used to saying some names. Okay. Anusmaran. Anusmaran. And so Anusmaran. Anu again comes. Okay. Smaran, remembering, recalling, and remembering this name, this Krishna. And Krishna's teachings probably can't remember because that person may not have done Shravanam. Okay, may not have done Shravanam, but at least about Krishna and his Leela and his Jagat Gurutvam can be recalled, etc. And so Anusmaran and Mam Anusmaran, obviously. So Mam Anusmaran, here Krishna says Mam, he's the hero here, and therefore he has to say Mam Anusmaran. He can't say Ramam Anusmaran, that would be very vague. How did Rama enter the picture suddenly? Okay, of course he could say that because Krishna Avatara comes after Rama Avatara. So Mam Anusmaran, Yaf Prayati Tyajan Deham. Deham Tyajan, giving up this body, Yaha Prayati, one who departs. Okay, one who departs, Sahayati Paramam Gatim. That person gains the ultimate end. Paramam Gatim gains the greatest. And in this case, greatest is not moksha. It is apekshika moksha. It is a moksha as it were. The next life is guaranteed to be good and Brahmaloka, etc. And then next life moksha is guaranteed. That is the idea here. Paramam Gatim Yati. Eventually, he or she will get the Paramagati. And Yaf Prayati, one who departs. One who departs means who departs? Stula Shariram is right here. Wherever it is there. We don't see the Stula Shariram going anywhere. Okay, so Stula Shariram does not depart. What about Atma? Can Atma depart? Okay, all of you are shaking your head. like this. So that means Atma does not depart, because wherever you see there is Atma only. Brahma is Atma, therefore Atma cannot depart. Only where Atma is not, it can go to, but there is no place where Atma is not. Atma does not depart. Deha does not depart. So who departs? So this is where we say, this is why we say, Sukshma Shariram departs. Sukshma Shariram Karana Shariram. Yeah, subtle. That is why subtle body is important. And that is what departs with that karma load. Karma load. Karana Shariram has all the karma in it. It departs as it were. And so, Yaha Prayati and Sayati Paramam Gatim, greatest end. Okay, so let's translate these two shlokas. Having restrained, we are now translating, okay? So 12 and 13 we are going to translate together. Having restrained all the sense organs, means they are essentially not operating. Okay, having restrained all the sense organs and withdrawing the mind into the heart, and withdrawing the mind into the heart, comma, placing the breath at the top of the head. So pranam here is translated as breath, placing the pranam at the top of the head, and holding, remaining holding within brackets that breath, remaining holding that pranam by yoga. So adhaya, question was what is adhaya? So here remaining, holding, sustaining, keeping the prana there at the top of the head. Okay. Then now we are going to translate the next one, number 13. Continuing, comma, chanting the monosyllable omkaraha or om, chanting the monosyllable om, comma, which is Brahma, comma, giving up the body, comma, the one who departs remembering me, the one who departs remembering me, comma, goes to the greatest end, or goes to the most exalted end. Shall I read it all once? Okay, let me do that. Closing or having restrained all the sense organs and withdrawing or confining, withdrawing the mind into the heart, comma, placing the pranam at the top of the head and remaining holding or remaining holding, okay, holding the breath and remaining like that, right? And remaining holding that breath by yoga, comma, chanting the monosyllable om, comma, which is Brahma, comma, giving up the body, comma, the one who departs, remembering me, comma, goes to the greatest end. So you can see all these things. Siddhas. Therefore, you can see now, you may not have seen a Siddha, but Siddhas are there. Why? Because this Vidya is there, very much there. And so they may not know all these Upanishad, Shastram and all, they may not know. And but they know this much Ishvara, Ishvaratvam. And then that somehow joining Bhagavan, that idea is there. And these Vidyas are all there. There are people who can teach all this. And so very much there. We'll stop with that. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobhramanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samastas Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithivi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitah Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ